Now, more than ever, we need to focus on stories of strength, courage, and unity. Welcome to COVID Talks, a series dedicated to promoting positive conversations during uncertain times.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 15th episode of COVID Talks, Positive Conversations During Uncertain Times. My name is Anthony Rapp of PR Cision. I'll be your host for the evening. First and foremost, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching us live, I ask you to do me a quick favor. Go to the bottom of the page, click that share button so you can share the post and get the message out to more people. If you're listening on our podcast and you downloaded us, I appreciate it. So thank you for listening in. We have a great show tonight because we're highlighting a couple of things. We're highlighting the importance of family because the guests that we're going to have on are family. We're highlighting the heroism of our first responders because the campaign that they created was designed for heroes. And we're also talking about the way that this campaign incorporates and is helping small businesses. So we're going to have Loreen and Dr. Indelicato, and we're going to have Mike and Justine Cortese, the creators of the Go in Your Purse for a Nurse campaign. They're going to be with us momentarily. But first, we're going to jump into our headlines of the day. And our first positive news headline, local pizzeria in Dungan Hills, Prime Pizza Kitchen, located directly across the street from Staten Island University Hospital. They're doing something nice to thank our first responders. It's in line with tonight's show. They've decorated their windows with paintings of medical professionals donned as superheroes. So this weekend, if you're going to be ordering a pizza and they are in your area and they deliver to you, think about reaching out to Prime Pizza Kitchen, give them a shout, support them. And as we all know, the PPE program has been exhausted. But as of this morning, the Paycheck Protection Program, which is aimed at small businesses, is expected to get an infusion of an additional $320 billion. That would put the total per capita of funding available over $480 billion in total. But again, right now, this still needs to pass President Trump's desk. And I believe, based on the recent reports, that this will be on his desk tomorrow or Friday. And hopefully that gets signed so that small business owners can get the relief that they need. And our last headline, a local organization, a Christian-based organization, World Vision, is providing emergency food kits and supplies like hand sanitizers to about 100 families located down by Bay Street, underprivileged families who are having issues, obviously, with unemployment, but also issues getting access to basic supplies and food. So the organization has stepped up, and World Vision will be supplying people with these donations for the next 3 months. So shout out to them, doing great work. We thank you for your efforts. And a couple PSAs. So how do you find us? How do you stay in touch with us? Follow us on Facebook at COVID Talk. Check out the website, covid-talks.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at COVID Talks and download our podcast. Every night, the episode becomes a podcast. You can check it out on iTunes and Spotify and listen in. And tomorrow night, we have a great show. Tomorrow night with us, we have Celia Ayurvesi. She is a board member of the YMCA Counseling Services here on Staten Island on the South Shore. And she's going to be talking about some innovative things that the YMCA Counseling Services have done in order to be able to service people battling addiction while they're in quarantine and can't actually go in to get any of these treatments or services. All right. So with that, we're going to pop up our header. All right. So again, as I mentioned earlier, this is it's a really outside of them being very close friends of mine. It's really a story of family, of heroism, because it's dealing with first responders and it's also incorporating small businesses. So we're going to bring in Loreen and Dr. Indelicato and Mike Cortese and his beautiful wife, Justine, all together, all combined. All four of these individuals came up with what's known as the Go in Your Purse for a Nurse campaign, which started locally, which they'll tell you as an idea, but it has since grown to a national campaign that's generating tens of thousands of dollars and has local ambassadors all across the country raising funds for our first responders. So let's see if I get this right. We got them. Everybody's there?
Yes.
Hi.
So I got it right. So guys, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And before we get into, the hard-hitting questions, let's just take a very basic approach. We'll go around the virtual room and we'll kind of tell everybody about your background, what you're involved in, and where you grew up. And we're going to start with the beautiful Justine. You were first.
So my name is Justine from Staten Island, and I am a clinical pharmacist at St. Barnabas Medical Center in Livingston, New Jersey. And Michael?
What's up, Ant? Thanks for having us. My name is Mike Cortese. I'm a math teacher at New World Prep Charter School in the Port Richmond area. I'm also the boys varsity basketball coach at St. Joseph by the Sea.
Go Vikings.
Let's go Vikings. As well as a co-founder of I Work Basketball, as well as the Coaches Care Fund, which is a local Staten Island-based charity.
So before we jump up top, because in my screen, you guys are up top. Mike, just give me a little information about iWorks, because that's a great program. And I want, if anyone's watching, listening, I want to just get the message out there. So you're doing great stuff with these kids.
For sure. iWork is a part of our umbrella company, iStar Sports. We provide a lot of local clinics and leagues and great events for kids across the island. You can learn a lot about us at istarsports.com. We'll be putting out a free virtual clinic with some of the great other trainers across the island that are keeping the kids engaged. Through all this, it's great to walk around the neighborhoods and see a lot of kids out playing in their driveways and staying active. So we're just trying to push that with I Work Basketball.
So philanthropy is ingrained in your blood. God bless you, brother. All right. So we're going to jump up to Dr. Sal. Dr. Sal, tell us about yourself.
Thanks for having us. My name is Sal Indelicato. I'm an orthodontist here in Huguenot. Lived in Staten Island since the beginning of high school. Went to Tottenville, went to Wagner College, and then University of Florida and Rutgers for orthodontics. My practice is in Huguenot.
Perfect. And now the brainchild of it all,
yes,
the infamous Loreen, please share with us your background. Tell us some information about you, not necessarily the campaign. We want to know about you. We'll get to the campaign.
Okay. My name is Loreen and Dr. I'm a native Staten Islander.
Native.
Yes, native, over 50 years. And that's okay. And I went to St. Joseph by the Sea High School too.
Go Vikings.
A long time ago. And I'm a dental hygienist here on Staten Island also.
Awesome. So now everybody kind of got to know a little bit about each of you. And now, in order to maintain sanity and sort of get it going with so many guests on the show, I want to talk about the fundraising campaign. So I think, Loreen, we're going to start with you. So I think from what I've read and what I understand that this was started because you really wanted a way to help your sister and the nurses. So
Right.
Tell us about that. Where'd the campaign come from? Let us know about it.
Okay. Well, it all started literally because my sister is a nurse in Staten Island Hospital South. And just hearing her stories night after night and what they were going through, it was really sad. I mean, she would tell me stories of her literally being scared and what the other nurses were doing. They didn't have the right equipment in the beginning. They were literally just running scared every night. They didn't know what they were going into. They didn't know how they were going to handle things. And it was literally a nightmare. And one night when we were just talking, you could just hear it in her voice, how overwhelmed she was. And I really felt bad. And she started to cry. I started to cry. And it was just like, I felt sick for her. So when I got off the phone, I just said to my husband, I'm like, I feel so bad for these nurses, what they're going through. It's literally like they're going into a war.
Right.
And she was just scared because she left her family and went to work not knowing what was going to happen. So I said, you know what? I wish we could just do something nice because they're doing so much for us. What could we do for them?
Right.
When this is all over, like, I would love to give them a night out or just something to make them feel better, and make it feel like it was worthwhile. And that's when Sal came up with the idea. He says, you know what? All the businesses on Staten Island too are suffering. Why don't we reach out? Yeah, why don't we reach out to them?
We raise money, purchase gift certificates to restaurants, nail salons, hair salons, clothing stores, and it really took off. And it was amazing how Staten Islanders really came together and was so generous.
So
just great.
I know about the campaign, but I want you to go in a little more detail. So you said we're purchasing gift cards. So what is the juxt of the actual campaign? What's the idea behind it?
So when I spoke to Sal about it, I said I want to do something. So he said, okay, let's figure this out. So he said, let's go into small businesses that are hurting, purchase gift cards, and then we'll be able to give them to, we'll collect donations. Right. That's how it all started. And that's where Mike came in, because I was like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to get, he came up with the name, Go in Your Purse for a Nurse.
And that's why I threw that in there, because I wanted to somehow not mention that Mike came up with it, but I wanted to give him the credit.
Yeah.
So basically, to encapsulate it, you guys are raising funds. We'll get to it later, how to donate, but raising funds, using that funding to then go to purchase items from local businesses to then redistribute to first responders.
Correct.
And now we're going to jump to Mike. So you're the brainchild with the beautiful idea. Tell us, brother, where'd it come from?
I would sit on the couch and
the beautiful one.
I would sit on the couch, and Justine was on the phone with her mother and her family. They were on a conference call, and as always, they would just look at how they could help. And I just overheard it from afar, and I just threw the name out there. And Loreen loved it, and here it is. But it was all their idea. There, you heard it in Loreen's voice how much she wanted to get involved and help, and they were on the phone just brainstorming ideas.
And then right away, other family members jumped in. Yep. Justine, my niece, my sister-in-law, would just spreading the word to friends and social media, and creating a Facebook page and putting it on Instagram. And from there, it really just blossomed. It took off.
Give me, it's been what, 10 or 11 days that the campaign?
Yeah, something like that.
So day one, now Mike shared this story with me, so I want to see if it's accurate. So you kind of created the account, and we'll put it up there, and you didn't think much of it. And then you woke up and you were surprised. Why were you surprised?
Right.
We were shocked.
Venmo account.
I just said, you know what? The only thing I have to do is I have a Venmo account. So I'm like, let's just tell everybody if they want to donate, put it in my Venmo.
And friends and family would do that. But then before you know it, it was everyone.
It took off. We were shocked. We had over $1,000 in my account the next morning.
And what do you think you're up to right about now, if you had to guess?
Over 20.
Over $20,000.
Over 20 on Staten Island.
On Staten Island. We're gonna get into the ambassadors, but for those watching and those listening, this is how you would find a way to donate. So you literally go into your Venmo account. If you don't have one, create one. You look and search for Go in Your Purse for a Nurse, and you send the money as you would to a friend or family member. They're collecting the money and redistributing it. And you can also follow this entire story and also click and get more information if you follow them on their Facebook page at Go in Your Purse for a Nurse. So all that information is there. I'm also going to post a link in the comments as to where you can get the Venmo account. But now let's talk about something else that's makes me even happier, because I love when Staten Island is on the map for something positive. It just makes me proud. It makes me so proud. I love it. I love it. We get a bad rap for everything, but here we are doing amazing stuff. So a simple idea, overnight, $1,000, brainchild, Mike Cortese, the handsome guy that he is, comes up with this catchy title. How does it go from something born in Huguenot to something that now, and I think we're going to let Justine talk about this, that has about a dozen ambassadors across the country, each raising money in a similar fashion under the same umbrella? So how did that happen, Justine?
So my parents spoke to someone on Fox News. They told them their story, and then they had a little segment on Fox News, and Fox News suggested that we have a Facebook. They were like, you're going to blow up. People are going to be looking to donate, want to get involved, and it was the truth. So they had their segment that went on Fox News. The Facebook went live, and we got an outpouring of messages from all over California, Michigan, and local too, New York, New Jersey. So yeah, we're really all over. And back to how great Staten Island is. We're raising the most money on Staten Island.
Excellent. Well, hopefully some of the people that are listening and watching, and I'm going to call them out by name, especially if they're my friends. are going to reach into their pocket. I know
Good month.
my wife and I donated. We got the text, but we'll do it again.
Thanks.
Justine, we'll send in some more money. Absolutely proud to support you. So it took off. And about how many of these ambassadors do you have, Justine?
We have 10 total. So we have one of my good friends in Boston and her friends in Lowell, Massachusetts. We have about 4 in New York, Long Island area, Tampa, Florida, Sparta, New Jersey. I'm representing Livingston, New Jersey, where I work, and then Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
And so each of these locations, so obviously it's not all going into your pot, correct? Right. Just I want to make that clear for people watching. So every region is an ambassador, and they've created their own funding mechanism.
Yeah.
They're going out to local businesses in their areas that are hurting and doing the same exact thing.
Their local hospitals.
Exactly.
Local hospitals. Very cool.
The only thing that we ask is that, they keep the name and they post on our Facebook group, and we stay connected to see how
Share the
much money.
stories. Yep.
Yeah, that was a big thing too. We wanted to know why they wanted to get involved. And most of them have people that are nurses in hospitals that, they felt for, but other people, they want to do something. They're sitting home and, they feel for everybody on the front line and they want to do something to give back, which is nice.
Why don't we just bring Antonio on the screen? Bring Antonio in.
What do you want to say?
Bring Antonio on. Antonio will be celebrating his first birthday this coming Monday. So God bless him. We love him. We're very excited to be driving.
And we can't hug him.
We're going to be driving by the house with a sign. We'll be there. There he is.
Say hello.
Say hi to everybody, Antonio.
Hey, buddy.
And see how, Antonio, 20 or 30 years from now, you're going to look back and laugh at daddy and mommy, but you're going to say that they did something incredible with you in their arms, and they're going to be perfect role models for you to grow up to be like. So it's very important that when you eventually watch this, you may make fun of them at the beginning, but at the end of it, you won't make fun of them.
Hi, Antonio.
So go back to we're bringing in a lot of money. So the question becomes, you've gotten so much traction. You have other ambassadors. Are you going to somehow figure a way to keep it going after the virus? Because we're all hoping, and God willing, we're going to come out of this eventually. But the concept seems like it's great. So is there intentions of continuing it, or are you just going to raise as much money as you can when it comes in and give it right back? What do you think?
There's so many more people literally on the front line. We have nephews that are firefighters. They're out on emergency calls all the time. They're right in the middle of it too. They're getting 911 calls and they're going to people's homes and they're sick and they're dealing with them on site and then bringing them to the hospital. And there are really certain areas in Brooklyn, Staten Island, throughout that are really hot spots, and they are right in the midst of it. And it's tough. Other hospital workers, PAs, doctors, of course, staff, maintenance people, supermarket people, police officers. So it's definitely something that if it continues, and we'd love it to continue and get bigger and broader, so we could help all of those people out. And at the same time, again, keep in mind, all these small businesses are going through such a tough time right now. So
I'm glad you mentioned it, because that was going to be my question for you. So I want to talk about the small businesses. I want to ask you a personal question first about, your office. So how are you, everything's closed. We know this,
right,
but there are emergency situations, obviously, and there are things that need to be done. So what are you doing as far as those emergency situations, and how are you keeping yourself and your office members and staff safe?
Well, since really the middle of March, we've been mandated to shut down, and we're only allowed to see patients on an emergency basis. Me as an orthodontist, a lot of times I could just kind of walk parents and patients through it on the phone, and with iPhones and sending pictures and FaceTime, it's a great thing, but I do have to go into the office sometimes to see patients. So, we've always been very diligent about PPE and sterilization and sanitation and stuff like that. But now we just really have to watch as far as the traffic within the office itself.
Right.
Parents used to come back all the time with patients in the back room, the operatories. We're going to have to limit how many patients actually come into the office. how many patients do we have in the waiting room. We just kind of surrounded our whole front desk with plexiglass to provide extra protection between patients and the girls at the front desk. So we're trying to screen patients as they come in,
Right.
make sure they don't have any fever, make sure everybody home is well before we proceed with any treatment. So it's a tough time.
So it sounds like you're doing all the right things and going above and beyond, which is great. So, anyone who visits your practice, they should know that you're doing the right thing. In the future, you're going to be prepared. So now wear a different hat. Wear a hat as the business owner from a financial standpoint, right? So I want to kind of talk about, as a small business owner, everyone's kind of suffering, but the way in which you're reaching out to and helping small businesses as you're helping the front line is great. So, how did that come into your mind to help the small businesses at the same time?
Well, I mean, just living in Staten Island as long as I have, it's a big city, but coming from Brooklyn, I have to say, growing up most of my life in Staten Island, it's such a tight-knit community. It's almost got, to me, a small town feel.
Yep.
And everybody knows each other. Everybody has roots, and all the families know each other. Business owners know each other. And Staten Islanders love to go out and socialize and eat at restaurants and
thank God,
hair and the nails and stuff like that. So we're also very friendly with many of the small business owners, and it really is tight-knit community. It's like family. So, and it was so amazing how when something happened like this and the word got out, how everybody who could, just pulled together and did what they could. And before you know it, it added up, and it was just so impressive, really uplifting to see how people were so supportive. So
now I'm going to put Loreen back on the spot. So I want to, and again, you don't have to, I don't want you to disclose something that is personal, but just a little personal. You started this because of Alicia, right? Because I imagine, and you mentioned it before, she was calling you and telling you what was really going on. Were there any stories she shared with you that you could share with us in the audience about, early on versus now, or something positive that came up after the initial turmoil and the initial, like you said, going to battle?
Right.
Was there anything that came positive that's been going on?
Yeah. I mean, my sister really likes to step up and do what she has to do, and she puts a lot of all this,
her energy,
into, because she's very passionate about what she does.
That's the word, passion.
So one thing that I know that was bothering her a lot is when they stopped having the family members come into the hospital.
Okay.
And literally, she would say they would leave you at the door sick, and that was it. You didn't know what was going on after that.
You didn't see them for days.
You didn't
weeks.
see them. You didn't know. And it was like a terrible, terrible feeling, So she went to one of the head nurses and said, these family members are suffering. They're going out of their minds. They don't know what's happening once their, loved one is left here.
Right.
So she said, is there a way we could keep them connected? And she said, what about if we got iPads and, let them see their
so they could FaceTime.
And that's what they did. And that was really because she stepped up. So that was one great thing that I feel like, was nice.
But that's great. See, so even in the midst of the turmoil and the chaos, they were able to do something that had an immediate impact,
right,
and was positive.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, it sucks right now. It's miserable, but there are positive things going on. There are people like yourselves, all of you, who are doing positive things, and there are positive headlines, as we highlighted before. So now what we're going to do is we'll take about a 25-second break. So this is the opportunity for anyone who's watching live. Feel free to go into the comments. If you have any questions you'd like to ask any one of our guests, put it in your comments now. We're going to quickly announce our COVID Hero of the Day. And actually, I was telling them earlier, all four of them were the COVID Hero of the Day last week, because I didn't know I would have them on tonight. So a little bit of a mix-up, but shout out for being our previous COVID talk hero of the day last week, because you guys definitely do deserve it. And poor timing on my part, because I didn't think to do it today. But in any event, today's COVID hero of the day, COVID talks hero of the day, is Northwell Health Staten Island University Hospital. So what Northwell Health and Staten Island University Hospital have done is they are taking steps to make sure that frontline staff will be receiving bonus pay up to $2,500, as well as an additional week of paid time off. So all these guys and gals who are out there battling on the front lines, working tirelessly to keep people safe, keep us safe, and keep patients safe, they're going to be rewarded with that. Again, in my opinion, it's just a small token given the amount of work that they're doing, but it's nice to see that the parent company, Northwell Health, the parent company of Staten Island University Hospital, has even taken the initiative and taken the steps and recognized and thanked their faculty and staff. So we're back. I'm going to go scroll through the comments for a little bit, and let's see what we got. And while I'm looking through the comments, I want to just kind of, what's it been like? So a personal note, you made a comment before, Loreen, you said, oh, I finally get to see the baby. So you guys have been able to separately create a campaign that's gone national, but in other news, you can't even go squeeze your grandson. So how are you guys dealing with that? Just from a family standpoint.
It's tough.
It's tough.
Especially that his first birthday is coming up. So, we want to plan a day for Saturday. The weather's supposed to be nice. Let's do something in the backyard, outdoors. But Justine's going to go ahead and make sure we're got our PPE on, and
we're all going to be driving by. All right, so I'm looking at the comments, and like I said earlier, if we didn't get a comment, that's okay. What we want to do is we want to make sure that everyone understands that we encourage you to go right now. So let's see, who am I going to call out? Mike Bloomfield. Mike, you're going to go there and you're going to donate at least $50. Otherwise, you're a deadbeat. Who else can I call out?
I love it.
We got Alex Caldonado. Shout out to Alex. We love you, brother. Hope you're doing well.
He's the best.
Alex is the best. That's why I made sure I said hello. Who else do we got on there? My beautiful wife. All right, so we don't have any comments, but again, this show is not this topic rather wasn't really a topic to comment on. This was more of a spread the word, get the good stuff out, let people know. So again, here's the Venmo page right in front of you. We also encourage you to visit the Facebook page, because as Mike mentioned earlier, if you go there, there's stories not only from Staten Island, but there's stories from ambassadors all across the country who have joined forces with them and continue to donate. We continue to donate. So with that, I am going to put you guys in the green room. We'll do the outro, and then I'll come back and thank you guys. So thank you for being with us, and I'll see you in about 2 minutes. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So once again, we thank you for tuning in. If you're watching us live, thank you. If you're listening to us on our podcast, we appreciate that as well. Remember that tomorrow night at 7 p.m., we have a great guest. We have Miss Celia Ayavasi, board member of the YMCA Counseling Services. She's going to be here with us talking about new and innovative ways the YMCA is working to service the community, those battling addictions or those who facing substance abuse. They have some new stuff that they're rolling out, and she's going to talk about it live for the first time anywhere with us tomorrow night. So we're proud to have her with us. And for us here tonight, that's it. I thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Once again, this was COVID Talks, positive conversations during uncertain times. Have a great night.